Youngstown Ursuline
Stay in the
baseball
Steel Valley, right?
as we talk to head coach. Hold on, let me get my mouth. There it is. Head coach of the Ursuline baseball team, Paul Kempe, joins us on Running Point. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Coach, I think the first and foremost thing we need to do, as we do with all our teams, is our Meet the Team segment. I know a lot of things are swirling around about the pitching staff of this Irish this year. So give us a Meet the Team segment and maybe some new names that you're excited for this year.
So I'm going to start with our 5 seniors. First and foremost, it's going to start with Brady Shannon, 3-sport athlete here. Would have been 4-year starter for our baseball program. UCF commit. Just a great kid all around. Everything, we do is going, through him. He's going to be one of our top guys on the mound, obviously one of our top hitters, an all-around leader. You got Joey Carosello, who will be a 4-year guy at catcher. Jackson Gruber and Trey Ciavarella, who are guys who be able to play positions and pitch for us. And Danny Smith is a guy, utility infielder and a pitcher. Those 5 guys have been in the program for 4 years. They've worked extremely hard this offseason and, really want to bring us to that next level where Ursuline baseball is supposed to be, and that's competing for district championships and getting back into the regionals. We have Luca Raschuti and Drew Carilla, who are 2 guys who started as sophomores last year. Drew is a big lefty who has done a great job this offseason, just working on his craft as far as pitching, and is a guy we really got to count on. Some new guys we're looking for, Dylan Casey. Mark Manning's a kid who played last year who we really need to step up. He's a kid who's going to play center field for us, catch for us, be able to eat some innings up on the mound, and just a great athlete who we got to get on base. We're preaching to be aggressive, and he's a tremendous athlete. We got to get on base and get him out there. Jack Erickson's a kid who played a lot as a freshman last year. He's a guy we could put in a ton of different places, well as put on the mound. So, and Johnny Cambert's a kid who came over from Austintown Fitch. He's a kid who's done a great job so far, has thrown very well. And I think the biggest kid on the mound I'm excited for is Tommy Groener. Tommy is going to be a junior. He's a kid who, bounced up and down a little bit of varsity, but mainly a JV guy last year. He's had a tremendous offseason. He's been working with former Ursuline baseball coach Matt Giambattista, and you could tell the amount of time Tom's been putting into it. He's had a great, 4 weeks that we've been throwing. We went live this week. He's done a great job. So he's a kid I'm really excited for to be out there on the mound for us.
Coach, when you look at this roster, and like you said, I love how you brought up bringing Ursuline back to where it's supposed to be, and it's a traditional program full of success. How much do you think this roster has pride of being a part of this program, and like you said, the drive to bring it back to where it was?
I really think they do. We're very fortunate where we have a lot of guys with varsity experience back. We've had tremendous numbers in our program right now. And it's going to create a lot of competition, which me and my coaching staff have been preaching. I'm fortunate. I've been a part of a lot of great programs, and competition is going to bring the best out of them. And that's what we got to do. I'm a former Irish baseball alumni. 3 other guys on my staff are. I've been a part of 2 district titles as a player, and that's where we want to go. We preach it every day. We're moving forward. We're not looking back, in the years of struggling. We're moving forward and getting these guys to really buy in and believe it, and really getting them to understand, the tradition that this baseball program has. I mean, if you go from, the year Sean Durkin was the head coach, numerous district titles, getting into the regionals, he's got a state championship win. We want to hold our expectations there because I truly believe we have the talent to, and we're getting our guys to buy in and believe that. We're taking it every day, and we have a tremendous schedule. And at the end of the day, is we want to be playing our best ball at the end of May, leading up into the tournament, because Division III is a very good draw around here. But we want to be one of those guys where we want teams to not want to play us, but we have a long way to go before we get there. And upholding that Ursuline, baseball tradition is something that I really pride myself on, and something that our guys have really bought into.
that Ursuline baseball tradition and that Ursuline culture, I mean, on the field of winning, I see you bringing that back. But I also want to compliment, too, on just your young men being just upstanding young men. I've had a chance to talk with Brady a couple of times, upstanding young men. I've worked with Trey in the booth, too. He does a phenomenal job. Talk to me about just the character of your boys, and is this something else that you try to teach outside of the coaching of baseball, just teaching them to be these upstanding, young, great, just young citizens, future citizens of the states?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something special about being a student at Ursuline, and I think it's something that student athletes here, whether male or female, in any sport, really, I think you are created. You learn that culture of how special it is to be. At the end of the day, is these kids are going to go on and do great things outside of baseball at some point in their lives. I know everyone has that drive and wants to play as long as they can. But, my big thing, and this is something I've learned from guys I've coached with, guys who have coached me, is you got to build a relationship with these players. At the end of the day is we want to win, and that's our ultimate goal. But, I know from personal experience that the man I've become today is because of guys who have coached me throughout my career and guys who I've coached with. And I take a lot of pride in that. It's the way that I was taught. It's the way that I want to teach our guys. I want to have relationships outside of them. If they have issues, at the end of the day, we're another father figure for them, and we really want to, take these guys in and deal with it. Baseball is a big thing for us. All sports are, but at the end of the day, it's we want our guys to leave here knowing that they could come back at any time in their life. Give me a call, and I'll be there for it, because I've had that experience in my life, and it's made me a better person. And it's something that I pride myself going forward in any sport I coach.
Coach, you brought up your schedule a little bit earlier. I know Ursuline always brings a tough schedule with them to every season. It's almost an expectation at this point. Talk about some of the teams that pop up on that schedule and some of the teams that you're excited to compete against.
Yeah, so we'll start off from 2 weeks tomorrow in the Catholic tournament. We have Highland Tigers and Champion on Saturday started off, and we got to be ready to go, because I know Highland's a very good program. A little bit of a bigger school than us, and they got some guys out there. I really love the schedule we put together. Our athletic director, John Desantis, has done a great job. First thing we did when I got hired back in the summer, what was, let's get this schedule together. There's so much local talent. Let's get a lot of these teams on. At the end of the year, we start off with Canfield, and I know that's a big dog. They got a great team, a lot of guys going D1, and I couldn't be happier having them towards the end of the year, because we're going to really see how we are going against a team like that before the tournament. We have Salem, who won their district, took Hoban into extra innings in the regional finals. We have Cardinal Mooney twice, who's a great program. West Branch, we got Austintown Fitch twice, Boardman. In the beginning of the year, we're going to go up to Akron, play St. V's. Week later, we're going to, right before that, we're going to play Canton Central Catholic. So we put together a very competitive schedule that, it's going to make us get better every day. And the same thing, it's going on with the big motto with our team is, how are we going to compete against these teams? It's a next pitch mentality. If we make a mistake, we got to move on. We got to be ready for that next pitch. And I want these guys against these quality opponents, when the game's on the line. I want a guy who wants the ball on the mound. I want a guy who wants to be that guy at the plate, facing whoever, to go win a game for us.
Brady Shannon is someone that is synonymous with the Ursuline program, and I think it'd be hard-pressed not to talk about him going all three sports. We've talked about the other coaches with him in these other sports, but baseball, obviously, his first sport. So getting to talk with you now, Coach, I know how hard it is to rep a good batting average, how much work that gets put into that. I know how hard it is to maintain good command and have good control and composure on the mound. Talk to me a little bit about just the behind-the-scenes work and what we don't see about the work that gets put in by Brady Shannon into being as dominating of a pitcher and a hitter as he is.
Well, I think first and foremost, you just got to talk about how good of a kid he is. I was very fortunate, when Brady came here, I was still coaching football here, and, we've built a bond since then that is carried on throughout his 4 years. You don't want to say, you like players more than others, but, Brady's just a special kid, comes from a great family. And I'm very privileged to have coached him in two sports throughout years. And you know, we kind of joke about it is, you know, when he got to Ursuline, he came in with me, and, you know, his last sport, you know, he's going out with me. But just seeing his leadership and just seeing really how, you know, his peers around him, you know, just respond to him. You know, you see younger kids who, you know, whether he's in the hallways and, you know, they may be at school, or, you know, you just see him at a basketball game and kids walk by him and they just look up to him, you know, oh my God, that's Brady Shannon. And that's just a credit to the work he's put in. You know, obviously he's got tremendous athletic ability, being a 3-sport athlete, but his work ethic is, you know, single to none. You know, when they got done, you know, in the state championship game in football, you know, he was ready to go right away. You know, and I honestly had to talk him down a little bit, be like, give your time some body to heal. But just his approach every day, you know, he's a kid who, you know, I want players to be leaders. You know, they don't need to hear my voice and our coaching staff's voice all the time. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we want this to be a player-driven program. You know, they're the guys out on the diamond who are going to win games for us. And he's the guy who, when he talks, kids listen. You know, he puts in extra work when we're around. He puts in extra work on his own, and that's why has the ability, you know, to be a leader on the mound, you know, at the plate. And there's a reason he's going to UCF for that, and I couldn't be more proud of him.
And when you talk about leadership, there's no better way to mold your craft than being a quarterback on a football team that makes a state championship run. I mean, you can't you can't be that in that position without leading. That's for sure. Coach, we know that you don't do this alone. We know that you have a lot of good people that work for you on your staff. I want you to take some time to highlight the people that work with you and your assistants and the people that make this program what it is.
Absolutely. You know, first I want to start off with our athletic director, John Desantis. You know, John does a great job with every program in this building. He cares for the kids. He's present. You know, there's a big reason I applied for this job, because I know the support he has, and, you know, he'll have my back, you know, through the good and bad. On our varsity staff, we have Brian Frasco. Brian Frasco is an Ursuline grad. He is in the Hall of Fame here. He's in the Hiram Hall of Fame for baseball. He was on the JV staff with me last year. And it's just a great baseball mind. You know, our kids love him. You know, he's just very good at what he does. Carmen Tarantino is new to the Ursuline program this year, a Boardman guy who's been around Boardman and Canfield for years. I grew up playing against Carmen. You know, he was the guy I knew I wanted right away. You know, just, you know, recommendations from people. He's done a tremendous job. And just, you know, his baseball IQ and his baseball mind is great. You know, when he's talking, our kids are there listening. You know, he's brought a lot of things to this program that are a little different for our guys, and they bought in 100%. You know, those two guys have done a great job. You know, when there's some head coaching things that I got to take care of, there's, you know, no question. I know our guys are in great hands with those guys leading things. And then Andrew Frasco, who is another Ursuline grad, will be our 4th guy on the varsity staff. He 4-year letter winner in baseball when he was in school here, 2005 graduate, was on staff with Sean Durkin for many years, and has been a part of, you know, district title teams. You know, having him back, you know, just another guy who's been a part of bringing that tradition back. It's great to have him. And then our JV program is Dom Crichone. He's also an Ursuline grad. You know, Dom has been a JV coach over the years. This will be his 6th year, so getting him back on staff was great for me. And then Mark Lydon. You know, Coach Lydon's been around forever, between the city schools, Cardinal Mooney. He's been here teaching this year. And, you know, he ran our off-season weight program. He's got a tremendous background in weightlifting. And we really changed up our approach to how we attack the off-season. And we needed our guys to buy in, and they did. We had tremendous attendance, and I credit, you know, everything we did to just his approach and how we did things. You know, those guys, all 5 of them, you know, I am so thankful for. You know, they make our program better. Our kids listen, they respond to them. Our kids respect them. And at the end of the day, our kids love being around them. And that's what I wanted, is guys who want that will to win, and our kids want to go to battle for.
Coach, my final question for you: with all the culture that you're bringing into all these former Ursuline grads, I love the tradition. I love the culture that you're trying to rebuild. With everything that you've learned in your coaching journey up until this point, what would Coach Paul Kempe tell player Paul Kempe now?
I definitely would tell myself, enjoy the moment. Go out there every day. Don't be hard on yourself. Going back to my playing days here in football and baseball, I was very hard on myself. And, over time you learn it, you go through experiences, and that's something I want to tell our guys, because that's something that when I finally figured it out as a player, made the game so much easier. You got to go out there and you got to enjoy it. A big motto of mine is, carpe diem, seize the moment. Seize every opportunity you have, because you never know, when it might be the end. But attack every day like it's your last. And like I said earlier, that next pitch mentality, that next play mentality. Mistakes are going to happen. How we respond to it, and at the end of the day, have fun. This is a great game. Any team sport's a great team sport, but going out there and winning is great, but you got to enjoy this with your buddies, because one day it's going to be over. All right. Then you're going to be in my shoes coaching, because you can't get away from it.
Coach, we can't wait to the start of the season, just 2 weeks away. We're so excited. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, helping us preview Ursuline baseball. And we look forward to talking to you again real soon as the season goes on.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Look forward to all the coverage this spring, and go Irish.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.